Somewhere between your 20s and your 40s, the relationship with your closet changes. You stop caring about having a lot of clothes. You start caring about having the right ones. You have spent enough money on pieces that looked incredible on a rack, survived 3 washes, and ended up in a donation bag. You are done paying for that experience. Here's the problem. The brands built for where you actually are right now, brands focused on fit, construction, fabric quality, and clothes that hold their shape after 2 years in regular rotation, are almost never the ones being pushed at you. The algorithm serves you whatever is spending the most on ads. The influencers wear whatever is paying the highest affiliate commission. The fashion magazines cover whatever is launching a new campaign. None of those incentives have anything to do with what is actually worth buying. Today, we are going through 7 women's clothing brands that sit quietly in the corners of the market, largely ignored, frequently dismissed, and delivering a level of construction and longevity that the brands dominating your feed cannot touch at any price. This is the buy it for life list, the brands you find once and never stop wearing. By the end, your approach to building a wardrobe is going to look different. Number 7, Land's End. Land's End has an image problem that has nothing to do with the clothes. Most people associate the name with catalog shopping, swimming costumes for family vacations, and something their mother used to order in the 90s. That association is costing an enormous number of women one of the most honestly constructed, mid-priced wardrobe foundations available in the American market. Land's End has offered a guaranteed product promise for decades. Not a 30-day return window, not a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, a standing commitment to stand behind what they make. That kind of policy does not exist on a brand that is cutting corners on fabric weight or seam construction. The canvas field coat at $60 to $80 is built to the same functional specification it has always been. The Ponte pants at $40 are available in regular, petite, and tall, cut with a waistband that accommodates an actual adult body rather than the sample size the brand used at 22. The cotton turtlenecks layer correctly, hold their shape through repeated washing, and come in colors that are not designed to disappear off the rack in 6 weeks and be replaced by next season's palette. This is not exciting. Land's End has never tried to be exciting. What it has tried to be is reliable at a price that does not require justification, and for 40 years, it has succeeded at exactly that. If you need a canvas coat, a layering piece, or a well-cut trouser that will still look the same in 3 years, as it does today, Land's End is where that item lives. It just does not spend money making sure you already know that. Number 6, Pact. Pact is a small brand built on a specific claim. Every garment is made from GOTS certified organic cotton and produced in fair trade certified factories. Most brands make sustainability gestures. A recycled hang tag, a green tinted campaign, a capsule collection timed to Earth Day. Pact built the entire company around it, kept the prices honest, and then did almost no marketing. That combination is why most people have never heard of it, and why the people who do find it tend to keep buying it. The reason organic cotton matters past the environmental argument is tactile and practical. Conventional cotton processing uses significant chemical treatment. GOTS certified organic cotton goes through a different process, and the result in the hand, the softness, the breathability, the way it feels against skin that is a little less forgiving than it was at 25, is genuinely different. The Pact everyday leggings at $35 to $40 are the daily driver the athleisure market has been overcharging you for. The essential tank at $20 to $25 layers under everything and washes flat without losing its shape. The French terry sweatshirt at $45 to $55 hits a mid-weight that sits between gym and real life without looking like either. Pact does not have a flagship store. It does not have a brand ambassador. It has organic cotton, consistent sizing, and prices that reflect what the garment actually costs to make when your margins are not inflated by a Times Square lease and a social media team. Number 5, Quince. Quince launched in 2018 with one specific premise: cut out every intermediary between the factory and the buyer. No wholesale markup, no retail distributor, no brand licensing fees, factory direct to your door. The result is a cashmere sweater at $50 from the same Mongolian mills that produce knitwear for brands charging $280 for the same construction. That is not a claim. That is a supply chain model that is publicly documented and verifiable. The Quince 100% Mongolian cashmere crew neck at $50 is where this brand earns its place on a buy it for life list. Cashmere at that price exists in 2 forms: a garment that pills aggressively after 2 washes and develops holes within a season, or a garment from a brand that removed the markup by removing the middlemen. Quince is the second kind. It washes correctly, holds its structure, and improves with wear the way quality knitwear is supposed to. If this is useful, subscribe. We cover this kind of analysis every week. No brand partnerships, no affiliate commissions, just honest assessment of what is actually worth your money. The 100% European linen pants at $60, the silk blouses at $50 to $80, the merino wool turtleneck at $60. Every one of those is the same fabric quality the department store brands are charging 3 to 4 times more for, with the difference captured entirely by the layers between the factory and you. Quince is not perfect. Sizing consistency has had occasional issues. Customer service response times are slower than the larger brands. But for the price, the fabric quality is the most honest exchange available in the direct-to-consumer market right now. Number 4, Talbots, approximately $30 to $90 on sale. Talbots is a brand that has been dismissed as irrelevant by the fashion conversation for so long that most women under 50 have never seriously considered it. That dismissal is worth examining because it is not based on the clothes. It is based on the image, and the image has not been the clothes for a long time. Here's what Talbots actually is. One of the few mainstream American brands that designs explicitly for the proportions of a woman over 40, not as a concession, not as a plus-size extension of a sample-size line, as the entire premise. The fit of a Talbots classic straight-leg pant is not incidental. It is engineered for a body that has changed in ways that straight-cut fast fashion trousers are not designed to accommodate. The waistband sits where it is supposed to sit. The hip measurement accounts for the actual distribution of an adult body. The length options, petite, regular, and long, are sized for women, not for a 22-year-old fit model with a 34-inch inseam. The full-price construction is solid. The outlet and sale prices, which run frequently and deeply, are where Talbots becomes one of the most cost-effective quality wardrobe investments available to this demographic. A ponte blazer at $40 on sale, classic knit tops at $25, a tailored wool coat at $80 during end-of-season clearance. The brand that the fashion conversation has written off is the one that was designed for you from the ground up. That is not a coincidence worth ignoring. Number 3, LL Bean. LL Bean's position on this list is almost offensive in how obvious it becomes the moment you actually read the label. Most people think of LL Bean as a brand for hiking, camping, and New England family weekends. That association is accurate for part of the catalog. It is completely irrelevant to another part that represents some of the best fabric weight and seam quality available in casual women's clothing. The Signature collection is where this brand's wardrobe credentials sit. The Signature chambray shirt at $50 to $60 is made from fabric woven to a weight that most brands call premium and charge premium prices for. The cotton turtleneck at $35 comes in regular and petite, holds its shape across 2 years of weekly wear, and comes in a palette of neutral solids that are not designed to be retired in 6 months when the trend cycle moves on. The flannel-lined pants, the merino crew necks, the barn coat. Each one is designed to the same functional specification that made LL Bean's guarantee policy viable for over a century. You cannot stand behind a product that falls apart in one season. So you build the product to outlast the policy. At $40 to $70, the Signature items are the wardrobe basics that outlast the brands, charging twice the price for the same category of garment with a more recognizable logo. LL Bean does not need to tell you it is built to last. The return rate tells you. Number 2, Boden, approximately $40 to $120. Boden is a British brand that has been operating in the American market for over 20 years without generating the cultural footprint that its quality warrants. British casual wear has a specific construction DNA, heavy cotton, considered color work, prints developed in-house rather than licensed from a generic pattern service, fabric weights that assume you're dressing for actual life rather than for a brand photo shoot in perfect lighting. Boden women's clothing is built around that DNA at prices that the American market has not correctly valued. The Boden Ponte dress at $70 to $90 is the most functional single piece in a 40-plus wardrobe that most women have never tried. Full Ponte fabric, defined waist with enough forgiveness to not be punishing, a cut that reads as dressed without requiring supporting architecture, machine washable, keeps its structure across months of regular rotation. The jersey tops at $40 to $55 come in a color range that is annually refreshed but never chasing a fast fashion trend cycle. The prints are bold enough to be interesting without being exhausting after one season. Boden has a sale structure, mid-season and end of season, where the prices drop to a level that makes the construction quality genuinely unreasonable relative to what you are paying. The brand spent 30 years building a following through catalog and word of mouth before the social media era rewarded loud over good. Nothing about the clothes changed. The algorithm just does not surface what it is not paid to surface. Number 1, Kuyana. The Kuyana philosophy is written into the name. It comes from the Quechua word meaning to love. The company launched in 2011 with a single operating principle: fewer, better things. That is not a marketing tagline. It is a product decision. Kuyana deliberately maintains a small catalog. They do not release trend-chasing seasonal collections. They do not do collaborations to generate press cycles. They add a new piece when they believe they can make it better than what already exists in the market, and they hold that standard publicly. The Kuyana 100% Peruvian Pima cotton tee at $40 to $50 is the foundational piece this brand was built to prove. Pima cotton has a longer fiber than standard cotton. That length produces a fabric with more drape, more softness, and significantly more resistance to pilling and fabric degradation over repeated washing. At $45 for a t-shirt, the question is always whether the fabric justifies the price. The answer is that a Pima cotton tee that holds its structure for 3 years replaces 4 $15 tees that do not. The math and the closet space both work in Kuyana's favor. The cashmere sweaters at $120 to $150 sit at the top of this budget range, but deliver a construction standard that outperforms department store cashmere at $200 to $280. The wool coats, the leather goods, the classic trouser. Every piece in the Kuyana catalog is built to be worn for years, styled 100 different ways, and never replaced because a trend made it feel outdated. That is the buy it for life standard. And Kuyana is the brand that built its entire identity around earning it. 7 brands, 7 different approaches to the same promise. Charge you for the fabric, not for the photo shoot. The brands dominating your feed right now are spending more on getting in front of you than on what they put in front of you. These 7 spent it the other way around. They are still there, quietly making the same thing they have always made, waiting for the woman who has gotten tired of replacing the same piece every 18 months and finally wants to buy something once. That is you. That is why you watched this far. Drop the brand you have been quietly loyal to in the comments. The one that nobody around you seems to know about, but you keep buying every year. Someone else is looking for exactly what you found.